Welcome to Empowered with
Markeyta
and Michele.
Yes.
And we're doing life with Jesus,
Yes,
as you can see on our shirts, doing life with Jesus.
Doing life with Jesus.
So we just wanted to say thank you again to everyone who has subscribed, who's liked, who's left comments. And we want to also say that we appreciate everybody for subscribing. I think we're up to like 92 or 93 subscribers. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much. And for those of you who love the podcast and want to hear it on a podcast station, we are now on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. So you can find Empowered with Markeyta and Michele on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you want to just hear the audio without the visual, you won't have to have your YouTube playing. Because I know I've heard from some of our people who follow us that they enjoy listening to us in the car. And of course, we don't want you looking at a video while you're driving. So you will have an opportunity to listen to it. And we thank the team, Lady J.
Thank you.
And her team for making that happen for us. And someone did tell me that they were trying to find her website. It's LADIEJAY at gmail.com or something like that. So I'm sure they'll put that up across the bottom if you're trying to get a hold of Lady J.
Yes.
So we're back, and today we got a new topic, but actually I think all of our topics have led to God's provision, God's supernatural provision.
That part.
And so as we were going over and being prayerful about what we wanted to talk about today, we were like, oh, we left out a lot about Georgia and even just how we got there and how we got to that. So we're going to do a slight review. So today it's all about God's supernatural provision, and the scripture that goes with that is Philippians 4:19. And this is the New Living Translation. And this same God who takes care of me will supply all your needs from his glorious riches, which have been given to us in Christ Jesus. And so with that being said, we talked about how when Markeyta came, well, one thing we left out, okay. This is so funny. So y'all know we talked about Markeyta's job with the IRS.
Yes.
With the IRS. But before that, she came down before she had a job. Because for me, I was working in Indiana as a classroom teacher. And I was trying to be a nanny because I was like, oh, if I'm going to relocate, I want to be a live-in nanny. In Atlanta, they have a lot more money there, a lot more people who pay for live-in nannies. And so you can make a pretty good living being a live-in nanny versus even teaching in the classroom, because schools in the South start much earlier than schools up north.
Right.
So I was didn't even have a computer. We didn't even have computers at the time.
Did not.
We went to the employment office in our small town and was like, can we use a computer? And so we got online and we started looking for, this was the year of 2000. Started looking for jobs and faxing off and created a resume, I think, even there, and faxing them off. At that time, you were faxing, not always emailing job applications. And then was praying about it and receiving word from the Lord that I was supposed to teach. And so then I went back to the employment office and faxed off an application, looked for elementary schools. I was like, nobody's going to hire me because school starts in 2 weeks in the South. This is like July. And so sent off my fax to like 2 schools that said they had openings. The principal called me. I happened to be in line at the license branch to renew my tag, and did a phone interview and said, send me all your credentials, and if they're legitimate, you're hired. And I was like, wait, what? Wait a minute. I've been applying to be a nanny, or whatever. So anyway, long story short, I have to go down there because I get hired. And so I think I had to be down there first week of August, last week of July or something like that, first week of August, somewhere around there. So Markeyta decides to travel down with me so I won't be by myself.
Yes.
Now, I don't have a place to stay. I'm not familiar with Georgia and all of that. And I will say this. And for as thankful and happy as I was to get that job, the principal had lied to me. He said, oh, we're on the north side. We're in the good area. We're driving down and we're at 75 South, and we noticed we go through the whole downtown of Atlanta. Where I was like, we're still not at the school.
The hood.
And this is when you had to use MapQuest, print it out. There was no GPS. So we're going off a paper map. And then I had a Rand McNally map that my mom, as a kid, taught me how to read, that I'd highlighted the roads to go. And so when we traveled down, We don't get there till what, like 10 or 11 o'clock at night?
Listen. Listen.
It was rough. It was rough. So we keep saying, we're from small town Indiana. Any small
I ain't
town
never scared,
Indiana.
okay?
Yeah, Markeyta ain't never scared. But every hotel we went to, we were in such a rough area. This was off of, for those of you that are familiar, off of Old National. The rappers rap about this area. A lot of gangs, a lot of crime, a lot of a lot of stuff going on. And so the school wasn't far from the airport, but depending on which direction you leave the airport, it's not a good area.
Right.
So we're going up to hotels that say they have vacancies, but the doors are locked. Nobody, I guess the desk people are asleep. They're not answering the phone. We were like, what in the world? Like, who has vacancies and they're not, like, you can't just walk in. Like, everything's locked up. And so we go deeper and deeper to the city. So then we started stopping at gas stations. And we have never been at gas stations where people's English is their second language. And these people were from the Middle East. And we were asking, like, where can we get a good hotel? It was like, we don't know. We don't know directions. And I'm telling y'all, we didn't have GPS. So we're blindly driving at night. At night. And so we finally come up on this hotel called...
That is right quick. And then the ones that did speak English wanted money for directions.
Yeah.
How much money you got? Like, bruh, like, I just...
And so Markeyta was like, oh, no, we ain't paying for directions.
Paying for nothing.
We ain't paying for nothing. We'll find a hotel. So we did. And it was called the Sherwood Forest.
Yes.
Sherwood Forest. It was on, oh my gosh, what was that street? Not Talbot.
I don't
Tara
remember.
Lane. Oh, I remember.
It was Tara, yes.
Tara Lane.
And those from Atlanta who know Tara, listen.
When I say everything criminal that could happen in your life was happening in the parking lot of the Sherwood Forest. But they were the only ones that had an open office.
Right. But I slept like a baby. Michelle was scared. She was up every 10 minutes looking out the window.
Making sure my car was still there. Because it was like, I mean, when I say it wasn't just drug transactions, prostitution, I mean, it was just a lot. A lot was going on. But the first thing was, when we tried to get a room, he was like, by the hour, I was like, we are best friends. No, I got a job. I just need a place to stay till tomorrow. They thought it was something else going on. So then he says, the only room we have left is a king size bed. I was like, I need 12 pillows. We like stack pillows down the middle of the bed. It's like, you stay on your side.
And we need another cover. Because we're not getting under, you know what I'm saying?
We're not getting under the same blanket.
For her and a cover for me. Listen, and we sleeping on top of the cover you have provided. Oh my gosh, listen.
But anyway, I was like, so at first, remember you were like, I don't know, you weren't afraid of what was going on outside because you ran in those circles, but you were like, this is not, because y'all know Markeyta is bougie hotel person.
I am.
She was like, this is not the quality. I was like, we don't have any. We just need to sleep here. And so I was like, yeah, we just go to sleep and all that. But she knocked out. But I was up every 15 minutes, like praying in tongues over my car because I just thought either the car's gonna be sitting there with no engine, no transmission, or it's gonna be gone in the morning. But anyway, God was faithful. I was able to start the school the week before and all of that, and so the job came through. But she would drop me off, and she was like, yeah, I'm gonna look for a job. And so like we would go to eat at Applebee's, like all the restaurants were hiring. And I was like, oh, Markeyta, you should apply here. You should apply there.
I was like,
no. She was like, no, not doing it. Not doing it. She was like, God said, I'm gonna have a government job like I had when I was in Indiana. So
I had faith for that, okay?
She had faith. And she
nothing wrong with the restaurant job, but I had faith for that government job. Like,
Yeah. So anyway, God provided me this job. But the problem was that being a new teacher in the state of Florida, they only get paid once a month. And so you had to put a month in the hole. So I started in August, but my first check was not coming until September 30th. Mm-hmm. And my last check from Indiana came August 5th. I remember it was like first week of August was the last time I was getting a check. Because, teachers get paid over the summer. You work all year long. I mean, if you're in public school. And so I was like, where do they do this at? Like, where you get paid once a month, you make me feel like I'm on public assistance. What in the world?
Right.
Working around singing Bone Suckers already. It's the first of the month.
It's the first of the month.
That's a trickery. So it was essential that Markeyta get a job soon. But on our drive back, the weekend, we went to drive back. And Markeyta, what happened to the car on the drive back when I stopped to get gas? What happened?
Wait a minute. You mean when I got stung by the... So listen, I believe in going to the hospital, okay? For anything. Don't play with me. So she's getting gas, and I'm standing there, and I got stung by a wasp. Like, it was huge, and I watched it like go to my thigh and sting me, and I was like, oh, this is it. I need to go to the hospital. Oh no. She was like, are you allergic? I was like, no, but I got stung by a wasp. She was like, girl, we go back to dinner. I was like, oh, I was hot.
Every exit we passed that had the H side, there's a hospital right there. I said, you go check out the hospital in Indiana.
Let me drive. She was like, no. I was like, she is not a Christian. How dare this? When I say I was like, it's swelling up. She was like, you be fine. I was like, I am not your child. Okay, but anywho.
It was crazy. So anyway, after that weekend, I did not bring Markeyta back with me after that. And then I found a different hotel to stay in. So Markeyta didn't end up moving until September
8th, 2000.
September 8th, yeah, it was after Labor Day. And so when she came down, she got the job, and then we had another friend with us. And so then we were staying at the AmeriSuites, which was, I don't even think it's still there now, but
they changed
it was by near the airport or whatever. So we're paying day to day. This is not a week to week hotel.
We didn't even know about, we didn't even know about the week to week hotel. Like, they told us like years later, but we never knew about it.
Yeah, we didn't even know there were like hotels that you could, have the little mini kitchen, the home suites.
We had no idea.
We're from a small town. I don't even remember seeing any of those where we lived. So we just knew we had to pay day by day. Now remember, I'm not getting paid until September 30th. So my money's running out really fast. So our other friend, she got a job for housekeeping at the AmeriSuites. Well, if you work in housekeeping, you have to get out of the hotel.
Yeah, you can't stay there.
So then we moved to the Microtel. And Markeyta was like, it's got to have a breakfast. It's got to have a breakfast.
Like I said, I don't play about breakfast. I'm going to eat where I pay, okay? So listen, and it was a good breakfast.
So we go there. She gets the job at the IRS. Our other friend is working at the AmeriSuites for housekeeping. And then, because Markeyta, did you sell your car or did you give it away? What did you do?
Actually, I dropped my car back off where I got it out.
She gave her car back to the finance company.
On the way, I just like, I'm gonna drop this off. You feel me? I didn't know it was still considered any of them.
Anyway, she was just like, it's not gonna make it to Georgia.
It was still considered a repossession. I had it out with him about that too.
So we go, and so now, because I'm the only one with a car, they're dropping me off at work, and Markeyta, our other friend, her job was within walking distance, but you would drop her off, and then you would use the car or whatever. So then, because Markeyta didn't get off till 5:00, and school ended at 3, I asked to work the after school program, so to earn some extra money. Even though that check wasn't going to hit until the 30th, just so I wouldn't be sitting at school with nothing to do. And so we're saying all this to say, even though we heard the Lord to move to Georgia, and we heard him clearly about moving to Georgia.
I definitely did, yeah.
There were challenges. There were many challenges. And with those challenges, because our money was tight, because we were all starting a new job. And let me just say this, whenever you stay in a hotel, please tip the housekeeping service. Ever since I had a friend that worked in that, because when she got tips, we were able to eat.
Right. Extra.
So let's talk about the daily manna that God provided for what, like 60, 90 days?
Yes. Every day.
This is what we ate.
Daily manna and this is how I got so thick. Church's chicken. It was the steroids in that dadgum chicken. Let me tell you. But it was Church's chicken. We got a 10-piece and 2 sides for like $5.99 every single day. Like every single day that even the person, the girl that was staying with us, her daughter was like, chicken again? Like, a little child was like, come on, can we get something else? Like, yeah, chicken every, but it was so good. We had collard greens. Church's Chicken had collard greens. It was fire. Bring those back, Churches.
Yeah, bring the collard greens back. Yeah, so we would get to the point that the people knew us at the Church's Chicken. Now, this was in the year 2000, you guys, so they don't have that special anymore. It was like an 8-piece or a 10-piece.
It was a 10-piece.
2 large sides.
For $5.99.
And we got it every day, except for on Sundays when somebody in the church would have compassion and they would take us out to a buffet. We went to like Golden Corral, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But every day of the week. And then for me at the school, they had, for teachers, they had a salad bar and a potato bar. The potato bar was like $1.50 a day, and the potatoes were this big, and you could load it up. So I had like a baked potato every day, a loaded baked potato or a salad. Like God provided until we got paid. Now, because our pay was so messed up, we were in a hotel for 60, 90 days. I can't remember how many days.
It was like
a few
90
months.
days. It was like
90 days, yeah. Because every time, because we're paying day by day, not a weekly rate.
No.
We didn't have credit card. None of us had a credit card.
No.
None of us had a credit card.
Henceforth, that giving the car back repossession. Well, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Markeyta must have credit up giving the car back. But yeah,
Part of it, not all.
We didn't have a credit card. We just had debit cards. So we're paying daily. And then God being so faithful. So in that area, if you're familiar with that area, Pastor Creflo Dollar, he built his dome or whatever in the hood, because that's where, and you see his original church, which they still use, and then you see this $12 million facility off of Old National, where it is. So we're in that area, and he was having a big conference. And during that big conference, Microtel decided that they were going to put us out because they were like, oh, we can charge triple for these rooms now because, the church down the road is having a big conference. And we were like, no, we've been here for like 60 days. Like, our money's good. We haven't been late once, because God kept providing. And they were like, nope, you got to get out. And then God gave me a favor with someone on my job, another 5th grade teacher. I was just telling her, I was like, oh man, me and my 2 friends and her daughter, we're going to get put out of this hotel, not because we didn't pay, but because there's a church conference and they're just like, come back in a week if we don't have anywhere to go for, because all the hotels now, the prices are skyrocketing. And so she was like, oh, give me that number and give me your full information. She called the hotel.
She did.
Because her husband was a government employee. I don't know what he did for the government, but she let them know. She was like, Miss Brown, leave the room. Whatever she said and whatever she was like, because that's illegal. Whatever she threatened them with, then they called us back and said we could stay and keep the same rate that we had. So, I thank God for the people that he put in our lives that spoke up for us, the provision. Like when I say we were loving the Church's Chicken, like, and I don't even eat it now. It's so much, but it was the manna that God provided daily.
It was.
And then it was just like, every time we had a situation, God kept coming through, and till eventually we were all able to find places to live. But we had to wait until we had a real check, because nobody was going to rent an apartment to me until they saw my first paycheck, which I had to work for 60 days without it. But we just want you to know that when God sends you somewhere or God has something for you to do, we were intentional about not complaining about the provision that he provided. Right. We really were, because we were just like, hey, he told us to come to Georgia. This is our promised land. This is the land of king. This is the land where dreams come true. As Markeyta was like rolling her eyes, I'm like, okay, but you ain't got no money. You ain't got no money. That was the end, though. But God was faithful. So if you're in a transition in your life and you know God has told you to do something, just look for the positive in those things. And so this is Empowered with
Markeyta and Michele, where we are doing life with Jesus.
God bless you all.